Good afternoon, Bravehearts. Sandra and the Lorraine are here for you, and I am going to welcome Lorraine back. She is actually a time traveler, people. Did you know that? She is so incredible. She is so advanced that she's gone from time zone to time zone and just sort of warped around. She's come back. She looks as incredible as ever, if not better. So, Lorraine, welcome back to Canada. You time traveler. Tell us about your adventures.
Yeah. So I left Coffs Harbor at well, it was supposed to be 1:30, but it was more like 3:30 by the time we left. So my plane was delayed by a couple of hours on September 3rd. And guess what? I landed here in Calgary at 11:30 p.m. September 3rd. So I did a Groundhog Day while I was flying. So isn't that cool? And that kind of warps time, right? Or
That's
maybe
right.
it makes time go faster. I'm not sure. But yeah, flights were really good. The service was amazing. Even with that 2 hour delay, Qantas was really good at actually holding the terminal bus because I had to go from one terminal when I got into Sydney, the domestic terminal to the international terminal, and there's a little shuttle bus that does that, and they were holding up the bus for me. The driver was out waiting for me to run to the spot. He says, "You're Lorraine." I said, "Yes, I am." We're waiting. Got on, and even the flight they held. So that was great because if I missed that flight, I would have been stuck in Sydney. Not such a bad thing, but would have been delayed. And the only thing that happened is my luggage is still in Sydney. It didn't make the cut. It just didn't. It had no red flags on it saying, "Move this one now." But
Well,
yeah,
at least they regarded the person more important than the luggage. So we're appreciative of that for sure. And look at that. You've got such angel wings. You had people just waiting there to whisk you off to wherever you need. So I think
yeah,
that's incredible. Yeah. And in a funny way, it's just everybody's learning to keep advancing themselves and keep elevating themselves. And we're just practicing on getting into these different time zones and different elevations in our spirit. So people, Bravehearts, we're happy to be here to chat with you about the perfect day because we think this information is foundational for your life. These are things that you're going to learn. These are products that you're going to take with you and probably use for the rest of your life because they are that foundational. These are basic things that we need to do for our bodies, right? If our food had the proper amounts of humic and fulvic in it, then we wouldn't need to be worrying about things. But as we know, we collectively have allowed things to break down. We collectively let the authority go to just single groups instead of everybody piping in and putting in their 2 cents and everybody remaining as a student and as a learner and as someone who has enough importance to always put their 2 cents in, right? We relaxed as a society all over the globe and we said, yep, we'll let this group do this. Yep, we'll let that group do that. And here we are, we're in trouble and there's stupid rules out there that don't make any sense. Don't make any sense at all. And so now collectively, we've gone through this pressure cooker. And thankfully, there's people that had forethought, that seen things coming, like Dr. Darrell Wolf. And so he's been that little guy punching in those doors and saying, come on, people, wake up, wake up. You're asleep. Don't you know you're asleep? Don't you know you've allowed your subconscious brain to put you to sleep? So, you know what? Lorraine and I are just happy to be here and happy to be on this journey together and happy to have this platform to talk to you because everybody matters and every voice matters. And even though I feel like I represent the average, that's a lot of people. So I need to remember that me keeping rising myself over and over again is very important for everybody. But anyways, I had a
yeah.
lot to say today, Lorraine, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did. Well, we all need to recreate ourselves every moment, right? I remember growing up and wanting that being better, wanting that, what can I do to be better? How can I make that better? How can we rise a bit? And I remember that thought and that feeling going through my body saying, yes, yes, Lorraine, you're doing it. Yes, you're stepping forward. Yes, you're making sense. When we can support these bodies and actually give them what it needs on a daily basis, that's when the body rises. We can't do it. Like Sandra said, we can no longer do it with just our food, because our food does not have the nourishment in it that it did 50, 75 years ago. Unless you are farming, you've got your own little backyard, you're growing your own stuff, you've nourished the ground, you make sure it's got all the bugs and the minerals in there that it needs so that you can grow your food forest and thrive on that. But at this point, we're not there. We're not there. There are some people who are, but the majority are not. So we've got to rely on other ways of raising the body's vibration. And that's where the nutraceuticals come in. That's where exercise comes in. That's where the Braveheart emotional work comes in. All those other things, so yes, changing your diet, going from a standard American diet to the perfect day protocol, you're going to notice differences. But when you can add the nutraceuticals and the exercises and that most important Braveheart emotional work, you're going to thrive. And that's what we want for you. We want everybody out there in Braveheart Nation and beyond to be able to pick up these wisdom nuggets that have been passed down through the generations, because we're talking about stuff that is natural. We're not talking about pharmaceuticals. We want to naturally give the body exactly what it needs, because when the body gets what it needs, it does the work. It hasn't forgotten how to heal. We get a cut and we don't question the fact that it's going to heal. So to me, that means my body knows how to do this. But to other people, they don't have the same belief system, right? They need to be going to the doctor when they get a cold that's lasting more than 24 hours. We need to start being proactive and actually supply the body what it needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got some magic fingers behind the curtains today, and so they're going to be bringing up slides for us. And we've got a brand new set to show you, so we're quite happy with that. Our tech team is pretty wonderful. Just a little note, today's flash sale for 24 hours is any size of that C60 hemp. And so as the guys get organized in behind the screens, love, what can we share about the C60 hemp? This is taking that magic of the C60, which is the most powerful antioxidant component that we know of on the globe, and it's mixing it with hemp. And so that's a wonderful blend, because the hemp itself is going to help calm our body down. And not only is that just relaxing, but that's allowing those other systems to now come back online and do their job. Right? So we don't just use hemp just to feel relaxed. We use hemp so that the body can come back down into that parasympathetic, and all those other systems can come back online. That endocannabinoid system, which is like the referee of the body, can now go, oh, my person's not in flight or fright. Oh, hey, back to business, kidneys, right? Hello, bladder, right? And so not only were we going to, we're going to calm down, but we're going to function better, right? And then what about that molecule of C60? Do you find that fascinating, Lorraine?
You bet. That's the buckyball. And so that molecule of C60 is the most active part of the carbon molecule. And we're carbon beings. So it only makes sense that it's going to support us in longevity. And there was the guy who discovered that C60. He won a Nobel Prize. That's a big deal. And he won it because of longevity. And he studied with rats. And the rats that were getting the C60 lasted, I believe, 90% longer. That's a huge number. And then at the end of the study, he found out that the rats had to die in order for him to get paid. So he started poisoning the rats. While the two control groups, they died. The ones taking the C60, they never died. So he had to euthanize them. And then he did autopsies on the bodies, and the bodies, the internal organs were pristine. There was no disease in the body. And that's because of that C60, that buckyball. So yeah, it is very, very important. C60 is a high antioxidant. So it's the highest one that we know of. It works 270% better than vitamin C. It is not vitamin C. I know I get calls saying it's vitamin C, right? I don't have to take vitamin C. Well, no, it's not vitamin C. It just works as an antioxidant way better than vitamin C. So so it's neutralizing free radicals. And free radicals are not something we should be afraid of. If the body is functioning well, it is neutralizing the free radicals. It's when the body is too toxic that it can no longer do it, or when the body is running in that sympathetic nervous system because everything else starts to shut down. Your energy is going to running and fighting, and that's it. You're not digesting, you're not eliminating, you're not cleansing, you're not nourishing. No, you are running and fighting because that is the system that your body thinks you're in.
Right. So we do have a question. There is a Braveheart out there. Cynthia, hello, love. I hope to get to meet you in person someday. But she says, random question. While intermittent fasting in the morning, can you still drink raw eggs, or does that break your fast?
Yeah, that would break your fast. It would break your fast. Yeah. So just wait, hold off on that until you have your smoothie. Put those raw eggs in your smoothie if that's the way you want to take it. But yeah, it would definitely break your fast. Same with taking a nutraceutical, because they have to be broken down and opened up in the digestion. Not all nutraceuticals are doing that. Like something like the C60, so long as you hold it under your tongue, that does not bring on digestion. So you hold it under your tongue for at least a minute, allow the saliva to get there, and then swallow. And then it gets absorbed into the cells.
Right. All right. So yeah, gentlemen, you go ahead and bring up that highway to life. That looks just perfect for us. It is the highway of life. It is supposed to be this one-way track of going through. And if anyone's been hanging out for a while, you'll know this saying, but if not, you might be surprised by, let's chew your food. Let's drink your solids and let's chew your liquids, right? So what does that mean? If you're brand new, digestion is supposed to start right here, right? So let's just enjoy our food a little bit more. Let's just take the fork, put it down, look over at your family members, give them a little bit of love, and let's chew the food well, right? I know it's a little bit of a kind of opposite logic thing that it doesn't seem right, but if you chew it so small that it's actually liquid, it actually does mean there's more surface area for the digestive enzymes to attach to, right? And I grew up on a farm, and my dad grew up with 6 brothers. And so it's just this passing down of habits of, he had to gobble the food down and get it on his plate, or he didn't get enough because they were all hungry. They all worked hard on the farm, right? They all had teams of horses to hitch up, go chase cattle. They had horses to milk. They had cattle to milk. That'd be interesting to the horse. Anyways, so yeah, they worked hard, right? But then that gets passed down to me. Now, of course, my family or my dad knew enough to say, "Oh, come on now, you got to help me with chores, right? Dad needs your help." So he was busy installing that work ethic, but we didn't need the part about gulping the food down either, right? So
yeah, it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to actually send that signal up to the brain saying that you're full. So most of us can go through that drive-through. It'll take them less than 5 minutes to prepare whatever it was that we ordered, and we can drive away, and within that first 5 minutes, it's probably gone. So we could actually turn around and go back through that drive-through probably 3 times in that 20 minutes. I'm thinking, you know, and then after we're going to say, oh my gosh, what did I do, right? Like kind of like at that, celebration dinner where there's so many different things that you can be eating, and you feel you need to try grandma's whatever it was because she's egging you on saying, you know what, I made that and you got to try it.
And that is a rule in certain cultures. So if that's your culture, then you're going to need to come up with some verbiage to say, Grandma, I cannot overload my stomach. You are actually helping me to poop in my pelvis if you're going to insist I do that. So somehow you're going to have to come up with language. And if maybe you need to put Grandma back on her heels with the pooping in your pelvis statements to communicate, then maybe that's what you have to do.
This is what we know now, right? So yeah, we want to honor that digestive system. So it does start with what you're putting in, and that food combining, the chewing, the love that went into all that. Everything is energy. Everything breaks down to energy. At the end of the day, the only thing our body actually hangs on to is the vibration or the frequency that you put in it. So we've got to do high vibrational things, and all of our nutraceuticals, because they are natural, are high vibrational. So yeah, so the foods you eat, the nutraceuticals that you're taking need to be high vibrational. And so that hemp oil is an amazing thing to be adding into your regime if you have not. And I believe, what is it? How much is it on sale for? It's a Jim Dandy of a sale.
The hemp is 50% off. So
wow.
4-ounce, 16-ounce, 32-ounce, 50% off. So
grab yourself a 32.
Put it on your calendar. Yeah, you need to be checking the site Wednesdays, Monday mornings to see if the sale changed. Sometimes they're going to run for 2 weeks. Sometimes they're only going to run for a week. And then Wednesdays for your flash sale.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's maybe, can you recall the gut-brain connection? Can you chat a little bit about that, and then I'll figure out where we're going next?
Sure. So the gut-brain connection. So we want to honor that highway to health, or is it a highway to HE double hockey sticks? I'm back in Canada. I can say that. Everybody knows what I'm saying. But anyhow, we do that 4 to 6 inches of pleasure for how many feet of, oh my gosh, I can't move this. It's not working. You ate too fast. You didn't food combine well. You were angry when you sat down to eat. You were in a hurry, like the farmers. We have got to honor the body. We've got to understand that when we're in that sympathetic nervous system, we're not digesting. That's not what we're doing. We're supposed to be running from the tiger. So we actually get a surge of glucose running through our veins so that we've got that instant energy. But guess what? If I'm not using it, over time, I'm going to get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Isn't that interesting? And we also have an automatic blood clotting effect. So with that blood clotting effect, when we're running and fighting, if we get cut, we need that blood clotting effect. But if it's a paper tagger and I'm not running, I've got this blood clotting effect. Is that going to create blood clots in my body? Yes, it will. And I'm not running or fighting. So I don't need that. And yes, that can inhibit blood flow. So we want to be doing what we need to be doing. So get off that hamster wheel and bring yourself back into the parasympathetic nervous system. Be relaxed when you're eating. Be in a good frame of mind. You don't want to be having heated discussions. when you are eating, because it's not going to get digested, because that was an undigestible discussion, right? So we really need to honor these bodies, and download that PDG free. And it talks about food combining. It talks about the frequencies in everything. It talks about, how at the end of the day, the only thing your body hangs on to is the vibration or the frequency that you brought in. Everything else gets excreted. Either you're sweating it out, or you're breathing it out, or you're pooping it out, or you're peeing it out. And most of us aren't pooping well. Right, Sandra?
That's right. That's right.
Everything's getting clogged up. The pipes aren't working.
Pooping in your pelvis, people.
Exactly. When the pipes aren't working, you get stagnation. And one of the worst things is the fungus. The fungus starts to ramp it up because you're not food combining well, you're not chewing well, you're overeating. So that stomach has to churn and churn and churn and churn and churn and churn and churn. And then it starts to putrefy. It's saying, okay, we're not getting anywhere this way. We got to break it down a different way. So here we'll feed this one to the bugs. So then the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites take over, and they get nourished. And you just had a beautiful, nourishing meal that transitioned into something feeding the bad bacteria.
Right. Well, we've got lots of practitioners here on the line with us. Let's go through the list. It's so exciting to see everybody. Todd and Teresa, Stephen Mills, that looks like a new name. Hello from Mills, UK. Great to see you. Cynthia, Rose Clark, Elle Russell, Andrea, Claire. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so magic fingers behind. Let's move on to the next slide that we got there. And we're going to chat about the Tesla Lightwear. Now, for the Don't Send Your Kids Back to Sale, it is the kids' Teslas that are on.
Okay, don't send kids back to sale.
It's maybe not a good idea, right? If you're taking that sovereign position, let's get them in the hands of people that you're totally okay with absolutely everything you're teaching those kids, right? And I know you're just giggling because it's a catchy name, but that kid's Tesla, even if you're an adult, maybe you're an adult lady and you've got a small, a narrow head because you're a little teeny petite, you will fit the kids Tesla. So give us a call at the toll-free line. We're there to help you out with whatever you need. And even if you maybe just need various things going on that challenge you to make an order, you give us a call and see if there's something that we can help you with. We also have a sizing chart. So if you are curious to whether you can fit those kids Teslas, then you give us a call and we'll email you out the sizing chart. And there is information in the store. It was getting difficult to put all that technical information on the store. I remember watching that one of the teammates trying to do it. It's a little bit difficult to figure out where to put it because it was just going to be just a lot of numbers, and would it even make sense? So if what's on the store doesn't make sense, you give us a call at the toll-free line. We're there to help you, and I'm helping to man those lines when Lorraine gets to world troop all over the world. Sandra is on the phone taking care of the home front for everybody.
Well, somebody's got to pick up the slack.
Oh, no, I'm just teasing, love. I'm just teasing. Yeah. What do you like about the Teslas?
You know what? They are very... I feel more relaxed when I've got them on, especially if I'm in front of a screen. And, we don't understand how damaging these screens really are. If we understand it, if we understand the feeling that we get, we would understand why this is so important. We want to be able to protect our brain, which is why we get eye problems. So the brain says, this stuff is really burning me out, and literally burning me. So we've got to shut it down. So you get cataracts. And did you know that there's more kids, teenagers, who are getting diagnosed with cataracts right now? And it's the blue light poisoning. And it's coming from more than just these screens. So, if your child is in front of a screen at school and then they are on their laptop doing their homework and they are on their devices with chatting with their friends and doing social media stuff, and then they come home and they watch a movie, and that's a lot of screen time, let alone the darn LED lights that are absolutely everywhere. They're in every single home, they're in every single school, they're in the department stores, it's the street lights, it's your dash lights, it's your headlights, it's everything. It's everything. It would have been so easy for them to use the Tesla technology in all of these things. And then it would have been beneficial in actually healing rather than destroying. Yeah.
Well, there's so much information out now, and there's so many different ways you can get it. There's people all over the globe that are understanding that, and everybody seems to have their own area of influence. So I'm excited because there's so much to learn now, and the more learning that we can get out to the general public, then the more every one of us will be able to stand in that sovereignty and say, nope, in this situation, we demand this as a minimum standard. Right. And so the more we can educate ourselves, I think the better, and the better that the world is going to get, because we're going to raise the standards. So let's move on and talk about the bodyguards. Any which way size. There is a couple of colors that we're missing, but I do believe everything is still in stock in the States. So even if you're Canada, I'm pretty sure we can get you whichever one you're looking for. Let me just double check pardon me. It is the kids pendant. So not the bodyguards, not the bigger ones. And it's the children's size pendants. And they're just a little bit more petite, but they pretty much will give you the same kind of coverage that the adult ones will. And for ladies, and even some guys, even some of the guys don't want to wear these other ones, that they do seem quite large. So the children's pendants, lots of people are really liking those. So definitely check it out. And even maybe pick some up for Christmas or something. That's a fabulous price. The kids pendants are on 40% off, and that's a part of the Don't Send Your Kids Back to School sale, and that's going on to the 8th. What do you, I know you're still wearing yours.
Yeah, I am. There it is.
Nice. But which color is that?
Pardon?
Which color is that?
This is a teal. Maybe you'll see it when it's under white.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, it's hard to see, but there you go. It's one of the light blue. So, and when I was in Ixtapa, I had a chain that had a clip, and I was clapping myself. I hit the clip, the chain opened, the pendant fell onto the slate, and I broke the loop for holding it. So I took it into the jeweler, and actually I talked to Peter first. And he said, yes, go by all means, get it encased, and let them do their magic, and it won't hinder the radionomics that's coming in. So yeah, so that's what I did, because I loved it. And I do notice the difference. I don't go anywhere without it, or, unless for whatever reason I took it off and forgot to put it back on. And then that's when I notice. I'll just notice there's something off, and then I realize, yeah, I know what it is. It's the pendant. It's the pendant. Yeah. So they're gonna help protect against the EMF, the 5G. It also gives a whole bunch of other things, like the energy of flowing water, the energy of the earth, the energy of the sun. And I remember Peter on one information talk he was doing to the practitioners, he had mentioned the energy of the sun that comes from within the body, and the energy of vitamin D, and he had so many different things that he has incorporated in them. So they're more than just that. And I remember too talking to somebody, and they were talking about their sister who had been addicted to drugs. and was living on the street. And she was this pendant helped her get off drugs and renew her life. You know, it's great when you hear stories like that, because I know it works, but when we hear stories like that, that's just reconfirming.
Affirming.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you know what? And that teaches us never to judge, right? We don't know what particular thing is going to work for individuals, right? So I think to me, that maybe sounds like she was kind of a high vibe person anyways. Or maybe she had understood energy in some sort of way. Some part of her psyche understood the energy. So when you added that on, right? Like no human, no phobic, nothing else, but dependent on, and that's what was able to help move her forward. So that's absolutely amazing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think the guys are going to take us to chatting about the orange burst and the super cinnamon. Here
Awesome.
we are. All right. So, I do believe some of my water has orange burst in it today, but it's got other uses as well, doesn't it, Lorraine?
Oh, yes. Orange is an amazing helper throughout the house. I mean, you can use the orange burst and mix it in some water and then use that as a disinfectant on your countertops. Orange, all essential oils are antibacterial, antifungal, and antimicrobial. So when you can use them for, like, I just cut up a bunch of stuff making dinner, and I want to clean the countertops to make sure that, you know, there's no residue of anything that shouldn't be there, right? So yeah, and it smells beautiful. The smell of orange is a very up. It builds your mood up. It's a very happy. Yeah, it
It's
just
on
helps.
the list for an essential oil that would help with depression.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, a lot of different things you can be using it for. A lot of different things. You can diffuse peppermint and orange, and that will raise the vibration of your. If you're having company over, or maybe it's in a classroom setting, it's going to raise that vibration, but the cognitive function is going to raise too. So that peppermint is an amazing thing for getting clarity. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. So let's move on to the super cinnamon. This is great for so many reasons. And these two essential oils, they're on for 25% off. So this sale has quite a few different discount levels. So definitely if you're trying to figure out, if you don't remember what the full price is, select it on the store, put it into your cart. The discount will show up once it's in your cart, right? I know it's a little bit confusing, but we can't really change the system. The system is what it is. So the first slide that you're going to see on the store will show you what's on sale and will show you the price. You click on it. I know it's going to look like the full retail price, but have faith. Click on it, put it into your cart, and then you're going to see that sale price there. So we just wanted to sometimes put this explanation out there for people, because we get lots of phone calls, and unfortunately this is the way the system is, but we do have people behind the scenes that are continuing to learn about how to use the system properly and get the absolute best out of it. So I know for right now, this might seem just a little confusing. Anyways, Orange Burst Super Cinnamon is on 25% off until the September 8th. And again, I use the super cinnamon in the water. Sometimes we need to be using in the evenings if we have a lot of sugar cravings in the evenings. But it's a nice wake me up too. Sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what? I asked the body, thought the body wants super cinnamon now. So it's really interesting. What do you like to use it for, Lorraine?
You know, both the orange burst and the super cinnamon, I make raw chocolate, and I will sometimes put the orange burst in there, and sometimes I'll put the super cinnamon, and if it's really festive, I'm going to put both. So it just takes that raw chocolate and brings it up to something very unique and festive. So yeah, I like to do that. So raw chocolate's easy to make. If somebody wants a recipe, just put a note and I will put my recipe down in there for you. I also use peppermint too in it. So you can change things up a bit. Yeah. And just know that, the peppermint, the orange burst, the super cinnamon, the lemon, these are food grade. You can use them to make salad dressings too. Or maybe you want to put a hint of lemon in your lentil soup, but anytime you're using an essential oil in something that you've cooked, you're not going to put it in and then boil, because that's going to dissipate it. So you want to put it in at the very end. You've taken it off the element, it's cooled a little bit, and now you can add it.
Okay, well, let's talk about your perfect day multis. And this again is in the 25% off category. And it is a real one of those things that is foundational. Dr. Dara Wolf has this jam-packed with goodness in it. And I've received phone calls that people have taken this to their doctors as a pregnancy vitamin, and the input was, wow, this has got a lot in it. You were totally fine. Take this. Don't take what I was going to give you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Over 150 different things in there. So we've got anti-aging, we've got superfruit, we've got herbs, we've got vitamins and minerals. So 5 different ways of nourishing the body. And yeah, you want to make sure, like on the bottle, it says 2 a day. Now, 2 a day would be for someone who's extremely healthy. And they just want to make sure they put a check mark beside everything that their body required that day. Because when you miss something, if you're like me, at the end of the day, your body is craving. It says, hey, you missed something. So when I take the Perfect Day Multi, I don't have that problem. And I typically will take 4 a day, but you know what? Sometimes my schedule is pretty darn busy. Not as busy as Daryl's, but it's pretty darn busy. So yeah, I want to make sure that I put a check mark beside everything that my body needs. And that's what the Perfect Day Multi does. And yes, kids can take them.
Good. Well, you know what? We're almost there, Braveheart Nation. So we're going to stop and make sure that you know everything that's going on in the world of Doc Detox. We've got one more course that's coming up in October. It's going to be in our favorite location, Ixtapa, Mexico. It's going to start on October 9th for the Whole Life Coach. The Wolf Non-Surgical is going to start on October 19th, and then Pelvic Restoration with our lovely Lorraine is going to start on November 1st. So there's a number to call in case you need information about the retreat center, but also give us a call at the toll-free line. We've got lots of people there to chat with you about the cost, about flights, about accommodations. We've got people in Ixtapa that can help. We've got people on this end that have been there themselves. So we've got lots of assistance for you to get that figured out.
And just know that our prices have come down. We are holding our prices lower than they've ever been, so take advantage of it. We are trying to get this word out. We're trying to plant those seeds far and wide, because the more seeds we can plant, the better this earth becomes, right? The better us as a collective become. And when you can take these courses, like I took tons of personal development before I knew Daryl. And it was his course that took me to thriving. The other ones, I'm not sure. It was information, it was good information, but it didn't get me to thriving. And it's because there's more to Daryl's. There's just way more. I mean, we talk about the diet, we talk about the nutraceuticals, we talk about the exercises, and the most important one, that Braveheart emotional one. And that is the way he presents it, it allows you to crack your own coconut, because growth only happens from the inside out. So we've got to look within if we want to make those changes. And it's a profound course. You will not regret doing it. The people that I've seen go through it, they're leaving with such brightness back in their life just from taking that whole life coach, and then adding the Wolf non-surgical just brings that spark of life back even brighter into the body. We had one lady in Australia, and when she came in, she was an older lady, well, actually the same age as me. And when she came in, she looked old, like really old. And by the time she went through the whole life coach and then took the Wolf non-surgical and actually opened up those areas of stagnation, the whole life coach, she was talking a lot better, but the looking better changed when that circulatory system and the lymphatic system actually got opened, and the nervous system, those blocks were being opened. There was such a profound difference. And at the celebration dinner, I brought it to her attention. I said, you look amazing compared to what you look like, in a short, 22 days? Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it does. That's what it does. Does that for everybody who takes these courses seriously.
Okay. Well, you know what, love? We've got 2 minutes. So, all this information that we're sharing with you is really just to help you with that self-healing journey, help you to really take on that sovereign position. And so we're really happy to be here in this space to help you learn how to take that massive personal action, how to bring that self-healing on. We can learn to fly, can't we? And we all know, unless we're brand new, that means first love yourself.
There it is. Now you're flying, right? First love yourself. That's what we want, because you can't give what you don't have. And if you don't have that love for yourself, then you're not able to share that love. You're just not. I mean, yes, you're a beautiful person. You're giving, but when your body starts to go down because you're not giving the body what it needs, yeah, you don't have the energy. You don't have that brightness. You're probably still giving what you've got, but you don't have it. Like, you're diminishing your reserves is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So you need to learn how to fly. First, love yourself.
Absolutely. And then it's just such an incredible thing. And I think, Lorraine, just physically having you on the other side of the globe and then now you're back. It really helps to remind me. And then we've got Australian people on the show watching, right? And by the way, check out the comments when you're done. Some of the ladies want your chocolate recipe.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and we've got some lovely Braveheart men on here. Hello, Leonard. Hello, Paul. We're happy to see you. And yeah, definitely jump on and watch that replay for sure. You know what? And this is all so that we can come together, and that we can really celebrate together the whole globe, no matter what we look like, no matter what color skin we are. And, even if you want to take that theory and stretch it out a little bit, I heard one person say that was a scientist, between a blade of grass and a human, genetically, we're the same. We've just been expressed in a different manner.
There you go. There you go.
So it really is just about learning to come together. We are stronger when we're together. And if the only way we can be together to spread the message is online, then that's what we're going to do, right? In person's always going to be powerful, but we need to spread this message to the whole globe. So, Lorraine, would you like the pleasure of reading the Braveheart Oath today for everybody?
I sure would.
Okay.
Well,
Magic fingers.
I like to put my hand on my heart when I say this, because, when we put our hand on our heart, it tells our body, first of all, that we're safe. And then your words are more heart-filled. They just are. They just are. Works for me, anyways. I am loved. I am healed. I'm Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will always trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me, God, because I am, I can, I am loved, I am healed, I'm Braveheart.
Take care, everybody.
Have a beautiful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And yes, we've got this. Love ya.
Always afraid to talk one.